Peace, love, wellness, greatness, and success, fam. It's your boy Monte. You know what it is. You know what I do. You know how it gets down. It's been a minute since I've been on the scene. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're making things happen, regardless of the situation that we find ourselves in. Hopefully, you're manifesting energy that's going to help produce a better you, a better situation, and a better outcome in these trying times. Now, let's get into a few things that we want to talk about today. First of all, let me say that I'm doing well. I'm doing what it is that I need to do in order to be as healthy as I can be. And hopefully you're doing the same. Now let's get into what it is we want to talk about today. We're dealing with a few things. We're dealing with BLM movement, the Black Lives Matter movement. We're dealing with the LGBTQ community. We're dealing with racism, sexism, and we're dealing with the different approaches that individuals take when faced with trying situations or responding to a call for justice, a call for the end of racism, a call for the end of systematic injustices, a call to the end of police brutality, a call to the end of a number of things that are illnesses within the society that we as African Americans and others of other ethnicities suffer from. I'm specifically targeting the African American because that is who I am of. I'm a descendant of slaves. My history in America is unique to any other immigrant that voluntarily came to these shores. Therefore, my and our specific and unique relationship with the system or the European justice system or the system that is dominated by the European or the white American is unique. Now, I am not against or for labeling all individuals as racist, as sexist, as homophobics, as narcissists, as psychopaths, as anything that is derogatory. Not all individuals of any specific demographic is in the same exact boat. Now let's get into what it is I want to talk about. I did a post on my Instagram about the response that the eloquent and talented brother J. Cole released back to a sister, I don't know her name. It's called Snow on the Bluff. And he's responding to a perceived attack on him and other celebrities about why they're not saying certain things as it regards the situation that surrounded George Floyd and the other things that are going on and that have been going on in this society, but specifically in the last month or two with the uprising, etc. Now, J. Cole, a beautiful lyricist, an individual that always teaches with inside his raps and is very aware of situations and speak to those situations through his lyrical and artistic platform. This is why I have an issue with individuals trying to call out other individuals, such as this young lady trying to call out J. Cole, when it comes to responding to certain situations, when it comes to your unique reaction or steps that you take to try to benefit a cause that you find that is dear to you. No individual or no one should expect individuals to respond the same exact way that they respond to a situation. No one should expect that everyone is going to speak out and do things in the way that you do them in order to bring attention to the situation that they or that their way is wrong because they're not utilizing the same methodology that you use. This is a mistake that I find within the African American community, and it's one of the reasons why we as a people specifically do not come together in order to really make a sustainant change. Although the change that has been made from the protests and from the gathering of not only black people, but white people, brown people, yellow people, all the people of the earth is making a dent and making some headway in the way of change. Now, here's where the issue comes in again. Just because I don't speak out in the way that you speak out, just because I'm not out there in the streets protesting, just because I am not moving in the same lock and step order that you would want me to move based off how you move, doesn't mean that I'm not moving. And this is the situation with many individuals. Let me be clear. I'm for the sentiment Black Lives Matter. Those words I agree with 100%. I am not 100% with the Black Lives Matter movement. There's a lot of things that they have and that they're doing that I disagree with. Pure disagreement from a place of understanding of what it is that I see. Now, the ideal of police brutality must end. I agree 100%. The idea that structural and systematic racism and injustice must come to an end, I agree 100%. But there are other things, other elements of the movement that I do not agree with. And you can't force me to agree with them. This doesn't make me anti-justice for the black man. This doesn't make me anti, or I can't see what has gone on for 400 years. I'm a big proponent of the fact that we are zero for 400 years following the methodology that we have been following, the movements that we have been doing, the religions that we have grouped ourselves up under, and under those banners have landed us for a 0 to 400 year losing streak. So when it comes to understanding the history of this nation, understanding our unique relationship with those that are in power, with the system that has been in place, that has morphed into different expressions over the years, it's clear. I'm clear on what it is that is going on. I'm clear on what it is that has to change, that has to stop, that has to evolve. But this is not a method that is going to be agreed upon in one singular focus with one singular goal and one singular movement or strategy that brings about what it is that we need. Every individual comes at certain things in a different way because we have unique and unique perspectives on what it is that is going on, and we have unique talents of what it is that we can do in order to help the movement of the one particular thing that all individuals, whether we agree on the methodology or not, can agree on, must stop. So instead of focusing in on what we disagree or on how the strategies I'm using may differ from your strategy, or trying to make everyone be as vocal in the same exact way that you are, these things are getting in the way of the true process, the true progress of what would be called liberation. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore, do not get caught up on the methodology. Don't get caught up on your way as being the way. This has happened throughout the struggle for the liberation, for equality, for justice. We have the Nation of Islam in the 60s, the civil rights movements. We have the Black Panthers. We had a number of different movements who had different ideology, philosophy of how to go about achieving the goal of freedom, justice, equality, liberation, and those things that lead to a society that all individuals are treated as individuals on a level playing field when it comes to our humanity. Now, excuse me. Now, these movements, they didn't agree either. But what we need to do is find the common thing that we are agreeing on and then move forward on that common ground. The differences in the approach that we take, they are not that significant if we can get our ego and our emotions out of the way. Therefore, we must do things that allow us to see what we do agree on versus what we don't agree on, and unite around that which we do agree on, even though we have our differences. There's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion, a difference of methodology. There's nothing wrong with that. There is something wrong with the fact that we allow those differences not to allow us to come together on those things that we do agree on. Many individuals I do not agree with, from the left and from the right, not agree with most of the things that they put out. But the things I do agree with them, I agree with them, no matter what it is that I disagree about them. This is true for any politician. This is true for any leader. This is true for any social media influencer. This is true for any individual that I sit down and listen to and may have profound disagreements about what it is that they're saying. But if I can find 1, 2, or 3 things that they have said that I agree with that, and that would be the thing that I would try to unite with them on in order so that we can accomplish a common goal with that specific and particular thing. This division has always been there. This division is fostered a lot by religion. This division is fostered a lot by partisan politics. This division is fostered a lot by sexism, racism, etc. These divisions can be minimized when we find that one thing that we do agree on and we unite around that thing and we go in the direction to achieve what it is that we need to achieve when it comes to the one thing, the 2 thing, or the 3 things that we agree on. All right. So let's move beyond the childishness of just because a person is not doing things in the way that you would like to do them, that somehow they're not a part or not beneficial to the movement. You are not the controller of how individuals see things, move, react, and produce. Your way is not the only way. My way is not the only way. Yes, some ways are going to be more efficient, more fluent, more conducive to change and good, and more effective. But your way is not the only way. My way is not the only way. Until we mature into emotional individuals that allow ourselves not to make decisions and label things based off emotion, then we become more of a reasonable individual who can make decisions that are going to allow us to be successful across the board, irregardless of our differences. And this is what it is that I'm talking about, guys. Even within the communities, as far as the movement of the LGBTQ community, if an individual doesn't agree with specific things within the LGBT community, they are immediately labeled homophobic, someone who is attempting to discriminate against them. This is not necessarily the case. You can't label everybody who has a disagreement with what it is that you're doing as one of these derogatory terms. Many people are doing this in order to shut down open dialogue, in order to put fear in individuals for speaking out for what it is that they truly believe without harboring the sentiments of hatred, of anger, of discriminatory practices, of phobias, etc. This is not the case always, so we must be very, very mindful and careful of tossing out terms such as racist, ubiquitously tossing out terms such as racist, homophobic, sexist, classist, bigot, etc. Sure, these individuals exist, but not every individual that disagree with you is any of those. So let's not get into that childishness, and let's be grown folks when it comes to dialogue, discussion, and different of opinions. Peace, love, wellness, and greatness. Peace.